What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn on the Rick Ginn YouTube channel, the place where we only talk about wholesaling. It's what I do. It's what I love. And I know I sound repetitive when I talk about wholesaling, but you got to understand, if you don't understand the mechanics, the fundamentals of wholesaling, all those fancy high-end techniques that all these coaches want to teach you, they're just going to frustrate you. Why? Because that's what I used to do. And I'm telling you, when you get down to the basics, the mechanics of wholesaling, finding motivated sellers, dialing in and focusing on people that need to sell their house, you can get anything done. So today we're talking about how to get your first wholesale deal. So I don't care if you've done 1,000, if you've done 0, this live stream is going to be very fitting for you because you guys, we're coming into the holidays and Thanksgiving. And if you don't have an appreciation and understanding of how wholesaling works, you're going to get killed. So many people try to compare wholesaling to creative financing, and it's not even, they're two different avenues, like period. And what I want to do is clarify and give you direction on how wholesaling works, how to easily, anybody that truly wants to work can get their first wholesale deal. And if you're struggling or you started wholesaling at one point and you stopped and you started, I'm going to teach you to ask yourself a question like, why did I stop? And how do I get started correctly? And that's going to be the key getting this going. So let's dive into it. If you got any questions, do me a favor. Make sure you put a question in the comments. Make a friend here. All we do is talk about wholesaling. It's what I love. It's what we do. And as I said, I talked about the fundamentals of wholesaling. If you want me to talk about politics and crypto and all these other crazy things, I can do it to waste time, but it ain't going to help you on wholesaling. So I'm not going to do that. So we're only going to talk about it. If you guys are new to the channel, I want you to do me a favor. Make sure you go over to freewholesaling.com. I put it right there on the bottom. Let me find it in bigger right here. Freewholesaling.com. Me and Zach are the only ones out there that put our entire course out there and lay it out for you. Period. End of story. That's it. Everybody else who charges thousands and thousands of dollars, I give you everything you want and I lay it out there. Start right there, freewholesaling.com. Did I say it's going to be easy? Absolutely not. But if you're truly committed and you don't have any money, me and Zach give you resources so anybody that's watching this video can get a wholesale deal done, period. Why? Because I've been through the sea of coaches. There's a lot of good coaches out there and stuff, but the reality, if you understand the fundamentals of wholesaling, you can do very well. My problem is a lot of coaches teach about shortcuts, extreme shortcuts in wholesaling, and anything that you take a quick path to is usually going to bite you in the butt, and wholesaling is no different. You want to do a creative financing? I love creative financing, but if I didn't have the fundamentals of wholesaling, I would have gotten a lot of trouble in creative financing, and I want you to understand that. In fact, if you guys go out and find the best people that market in real estate, you will find one common theme. They all got a jump start and got really, really good at wholesaling. You know why? Because they had to learn the basic fundamentals. You ready for this? That marketing is king. This video is proof to you that marketing is the king, the highest skill set you can learn as a wholesaler. And if you can master marketing, it means you won't run out of customers in wholesaling. In fact, go around, ask everybody in this live stream, ask anybody that you deal with wholesaling. The number one frustration is, how do I get more motivated sellers? You have to master marketing. And if you don't master marketing, you're going to rely on third-party companies like PPL. I'm not knocking PPL, but guys, PPL, like, you're just buying old cold call leads, and you could do this for yourself for a fraction of the cost. And most PPL companies, just so you guys know, they're not wholesalers. They're master marketers, and I give them full credit for it. I think it's awesome what they do. But the reality is most of them are in a foreign country, so they're pretty much protected from compliancy laws in the United States, and they're going to sell you stuff, and if it goes bad, you're on the hook for it. End of story. So you've got to master marketing. Now, PPL companies are a little bit new to wholesaling, really in the last 5 to 7 years. I've been doing this 23 going on 24 years, and I'm here to tell you, we're going to see who's going to last in the business. But I like to find wholesalers that actually have products that are built for wholesalers by wholesalers. And that's pretty much what me and Zach do. So start at freewholesaling.com. I put it on the bottom for you. Everybody can find it. And I want everyone to subscribe to this series. Marketing is absolutely king. Now, before I get into it, I want to share something with you. Let's share a screen just so everybody's on the same page here. You're probably going to ask about dollar leads, guys. The demand just got out of control on it. We've basically fulfilling all the orders. And if you read on the screen right now, if you can see on your screen, you can see exactly what it says. It says, get ready. We're going to open enrollment on version 2 that's coming out here in the next month. And that's right. We are going to do market specific leads. Why? Guys, it is the number one thing you've requested from us. So even though we got a record amount of contracts off of our dollar leads, we show it works. I just want to kind of show you those same leads you guys are buying. You're paying hundreds of dollars from PPL companies. And a lot of you think like they're from PPC and all that stuff. No, they're just cold call leads. That's all they are, guys. Every one of them is a middleman broker. I've already shown you the secret behind the veil. So why are you paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for these leads? Because you didn't have a choice before that. So what we're going to do is basically take dollar leads, and we've heard you loud and clear, and you want to make it market specific. So I don't care what your market in. We'd like you to be in a more populated market, but if you want to have specific leads, here's the best part is you'll get the exact date the leads are dropped. You'll get the actual MP3 file, and you're the only one that will get that lead. And we're going to guarantee it 100% or give you a money back guarantee. So we learned a lot by doing this. And remember, we are wholesalers first. I'm not a marketing company that basically preys on selling you information. We take the information, we learn as we go through it, pretty much understand how PPL works. We understand the people who get the leads from, the whole 9 yards. The fact that we're wholesalers, we're going to make it bigger and better than anything they've ever done. So I'll put my name on it, the whole 9 yards. I like specific. Now you can do them nationwide and you can do it. And by the way, you can still use PPL companies. I just think the prices should come down. Why should I have to pay a subscription and then pay $40 a lead? That's insanity to me. But what if you could get 40 or 50 leads every month that are exclusive in your market? That's what we want to do. And I want you to understand that. And we are going to do that. So bear with us. We're going to fulfill everyone's orders, get that going. And we're going to bring you a better product. A better product at better pricing and make it specific for your market. And we're going to make it exclusive. So it's very clear. You want the date. You want the MP3 file for your specific market. And you want to know you're the only person that has it. And if we can do all three of those things, I think you guys will be very happy with us. There is quite a undertask that takes to do that. Now, keep in mind, who would you rather work with? Would you rather work with a group of wholesalers that actually use the stuff for wholesaling? Or do you want to work with a company that's overseas that's basically just going to sell you something? I have no problem with someone being overseas, but I am a true American that does wholesaling. This is what I do. And I believe I know exactly what you guys want because I've been doing this 23 years plus, not 4 or 5 years like most of these companies. So we will help you with that. We'll share that with you. And I think you guys are going to really, really like that. So as I said, marketing is king. Marketing is going to be king. Let me get this off the bottom because it gets a little distracting after a while. Okay, everyone knows where to go with that. So let's talk about getting a wholesale deal now. And why I always sit here and beat on the basics here so you guys understand. I'm reading everything on here. Good Lord, they got to stop calling. I'm reading all your comments on here. Everything goes as planned with dollar lead. So if you put it in order, we're going to fulfill it. To be honest with you guys are outstripping what we can provide. And we don't want to squeeze it in with a bunch of junk leads. So just so you know, guys, almost every PPL lead you buy, they're just old cold call leads. That's all they are. You guys you've had the wool pull over your eyes for years. Nobody's ever checked. No one's ever been able to call. So listen, if I'm going to get a PPL, I want to know what date it was derived. I want a call recording of it. And I want 100% specific guaranteed that I'm the only person getting that lead. Now, I'm pretty confident you won't get any one of those three unless you pay like $150 to $300. And that's going to be the challenge. Guys, you have no idea who they're selling these leads to. And just so you know, every PPL company I've ever known or even worked with, not one of them have a wholesaling background. They all have a marketing background, which once again, it's their right to do it. But keep in mind, they're going to find a way to maximize your revenue. On average, the average PPL lead sold at least 3 times over. And the ones that you guys get these, like, can we talk a little bit about real quick about this Black Friday coming up? Like, guys, what's your opinion on Black Friday? Because I got one. And I'm here to tell you, if you have to, in my opinion, if you have to run a Black Friday sale, that's all I need to know about your company. It means they're making a ton of money off of you. And so I've seen companies with 70, 80, 85% off. They're still going to make money on you. And I'm okay with it. But like, you got to ask yourself, if they're willing to knock off 70 or 80% off of their price, which I'm seeing a lot in like the lead services, like all the companies out there, heed warning, dude. Me and Zach don't really run Black Friday sales. Why? Because the damn price is so low every day. We don't pay these giant affiliate commissions. By the way, almost all your PPL companies, your PPC companies, almost every one of your coaching programs, every software except XLeads, they all pay the influencer an affiliate payment. Why? Because without it, they probably wouldn't be in business. So a lot of your favorite influencers, and I don't blame them, I've done this before, they get a payment for promoting somebody else's services. Well, you can see how that gets biased real quick. So I'm just telling you is beware on the Black Fridays. If you find something that's a great deal and it's something you want that's awesome, please don't buy it just because you think it's cheap. That's where you're going to get in a problem. And specifically when it comes to software companies, where were these companies all year long when companies like XLeads was running it for $97, everything included? Oh, that's right. They were overcharging you the entire time, and now they want to offer you a discount. Remember, if you jack the price up 50% and then you offer a 30% discount, you're overpaying by 20% on average. So my heed my warning, Black Friday, when it comes to wholesaling, is, in my opinion, is like one of the biggest suckers bets I've ever seen out there. I mean, if someone's got to offer such a massive discount, like, keep in mind, where was it all year? Why wouldn't you provide it? Me and Zach provide these discounts year round. End of story. Game over. Does everybody understand that? I just, so please, on the Black Friday thing, if they're willing to knock off a month or two of this or that, where was it the rest of the year? And I promise you, just wait till the year end, because the same thing's going to happen on that. And that's the part that just drives me nuts. So Black Friday's TVs at Best Buy. So listen, I understand on a TV or a hard asset, but when it comes to a piece of software, look at their base price they've been charging all year. And so all software should start at below $100 anyway. So if someone's offering 20% and their software's between 119 and 129, you're not getting a deal. That's like, who is it? Is it Ross? Who's the one that jacks their price up and then they sell, hey, let's sell 50% today? I get so tired of that game. Guys, name the companies that do that. I find it's like so funny. Like Bed Bath & Beyond did it for a while. It was wasn't like 50% off. You saw what happened then. They actually went out of business. So they still, or you you could be the guy that bought Bed Bath & Beyond online, said you're going to rebuild the brand and collect $120 million, and then have the federal government come after you for, I don't know, a Ponzi scheme. Oh, Lord. Good Lord. Okay, so we have to keep this in mind on the Black Friday, guys. I'm just making you aware of it, and I want you to understand how Black Friday is going to work, because you guys are going to get pummeled from Wednesday on. So me and Zach, we're not going to do a Black Friday because we can't lower our prices anymore. So think about all these people. And by the way, the people that are selling you most of these products, they are not wholesalers. They're just marketers. Find me any other wholesaler that owns a software company that actually wholesales. And I'll hold my breath because I already know the answer to it. Now, the wholesalers that actually sell software products, I think that's actually pretty cool. But the ones that are just trying to target you kind of drives me nuts. So, okay, let's jump on this. Mike wants to know, what's the Black Friday deal? Like, so here's the deal. Once again, Mike, we don't do a Black Friday because our sale price is every day. So X Leads, if you get the yearly, you can get it for $81 a month. Find someone that'll beat that. I'll match it, or I'll even crush it. I'll give you that. How about I give you that price guarantee? You guys should go find the best deal and bring it back to me. I'll match it or beat it. Period. End of story. The reason why people are going to run Black Friday is because they're overcharging you, and then they have some sort of great thing on it. But we'll see what happens with it. So, okay, let's talk about finding a wholesale deal. So we already said marketing is king. You got to learn how to market. If you don't understand how to market, you are going to fall prey to like all these cold call companies, PPC for sure. I see a company charging between 10 and 30 grand to teach you PPC. And then if you want someone to do it for you, PPC, it's $5 grand up front and 5 to 10 grand a month in marketing. Guys, honestly, go learn how to do it. Find a partner that does it. It's getting out of control. And then when it comes to PPL, understand you're buying an old cold call lead. I'm just telling you black and white. I've ripped the veil off. I'm in shock how bad that industry is. I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there selling, a lot of overseas companies looking out there to sell. And unless I knew where the lead was derived for, I would never pay a premium for it. So guys, dollar leads, we make it super cheap where you can buy the packs. And I got companies complaining because they're selling them between $100 and $250 on their platforms. That's a compliment to we understand the business model. So if I buy a lead, so by the way, most PPL companies are going to buy the lead for under $1, and then they're going to put it on their store. They're going to put it on there for a consignment. And if you bid for it, they'll split it with their partners. That's how they do it. That's why they can offer you refunds on everything. You ever thought about that? How can you offer so many refunds and stuff like that? And by the way, when you get sued by all these PPL leads and companies, it's you're on your own. There's no lead protection guarantee. They can't. They derive the lead. They're supposed to be responsible. They're a foreign country. They're going to blame it on you every time. So just understanding, we are going to get market specific. We are going to give you everything you've asked for with the leads, and you'll know exactly where it derived from. So all we want the PPL business to do is become more transparent, which there's a reason why they're making so much money, but I don't blame them. Like hell, they're professional marketers, which proves my point on the screen here. Now, the next thing we have to understand is ODN. This is the simplest acronym I can teach you to become an effective wholesaler. If you don't get this part, your wholesaling business is going to fall apart. Number one, O is for off market, period. Everybody understand that. It is for off market, meaning all great wholesale deals start with off market. Now, can I get a deal on an on market property? Absolutely. But it's very, very, very minute and small. In fact, if you want to do on market, the only one I would deal with is a little bit FSBOs. They are frustrating. But remember, if I'm going to do off-market properties, you need to avoid the MLS while we're starting out here. I'm just telling you guys, you go on MLS looking for a wholesale deal. I want you just to take your phone or something and just bash it against your head, because that's all you're doing. So we have this Hatfield-McCoy thing with realtors. It's an absolute freaking nightmare. And I'm telling you, don't do it. I beg of you, you are wasting your time. Do you ever notice all the courses out there that sold like agent blasting on MLS? They're all gone. You know why? It didn't work. It sucked. Can you get a deal off of it? Yeah, but if 1 out of 1,000 makes it work, that means 999 people got suckered into a product. And I'm here to tell you, I've been wholesaling 23 years. I've done less than 50 deals off the MLS, and they were not me looking on the MLS. They come from a realtor, from a motivated seller. So I can tell you this, hunting on the MLS, there was only 1 year in my 23 years that actually worked. It was 2010 to 2011. Why? Because there was such an enormous amount of supply due to the terrible conditions in the real estate market. And guys, I've made money in the worst markets. I've made money in the best markets. If you do wholesaling, you make money. The people that don't make money in wholesaling are the ones who do not follow what I'm about to teach you. So I'm going to focus on off market. The next one, D, direct to seller. Why? Once again, do you think you're going to get a good deal talking to a real estate agent going, listen, I got to buy a house 50, 60 cents on a dollar? Your offer is never even going to get to their seller. Even if they're motivated, they're going to protect them like a lawyer, and you're probably not going to get a deal. All that real estate agent's interested in is bringing the highest offer to the seller. And a lot of times they're biased because their entire pay is dependent on the amount they get on the contract. So it just goes to show you that they're going to use the person with the highest offer. I didn't say the best offer. They're going to go with the person with the highest offer. And even if you are the best offer, which often us wholesalers are, they're never going to take that in consideration because they only look at one thing, period. Now, I agree that properties wind up on MLS that should never, ever be there. And it doesn't matter how they got there, but you've got to understand it has to, we have to understand how it works. So if I'm direct to seller, that allows me to build rapport with the seller and get the story behind the real estate. If I have to talk to a real estate agent, I have absolutely zero shot at getting to the story behind the property. Oh, the property's vacant. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. That's what the agent's going to tell you. If I talk to the seller, what's going on with the property? Why is nobody living there? Well, we had a renter move out. It got trashed. We don't have the money to fix it up. And me and my husband are just sick and tired of dealing with this property. We'd really like to get it sold today. That story behind the real estate is how I get the best wholesale deals. If I tried to get that story out of the real estate agent, I will never probably ever get it. And it's not going to be nearly as passionate. And they don't care. What's your offer? What's your offer? That's all I ever hear from real estate agents. Now, I like working with real estate agents, but the reality is not everybody. Most real estate agents are only interested in screening out the price first and then sort it out later. Next one, the end. You got a choice. You can either work with people that need to sell a property. It's in foreclosure. I'm downsizing. I'm upsizing. Somebody passed away. I lost my job. Or you can deal with a person who wants to sell their house. And that's 95% of people on the market. And if you focus on people who want to sell the house, especially that have it on market, that are working with a real estate agent, it is the fastest way to exit out of wholesaling. End of story. Guys, don't bother with it. I'm telling you right now, find people that need to sell their house. Rick, how do I find people that need to sell their house? It's simple. Number one, people want to sell their house, usually list it on MLS. Oh my God, it's that simple? Yes. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think FSBOs are much better. They're great practice. FSBOs could actually, in my opinion, be worse than MLS. Why? Because they think they know it all. They will actually put it on the market for a higher price, and they don't want to deal with the phone calls. They find them very upsetting, and they take everything about their house personally. How dare you make an offer like that? In my opinion, I actually rather deal with an agent than like a FSBO owner. But the agent, I can never get behind the story on it, and most likely they're not going to let me do an assignment of contract. So I guess if I had to pick, if I was going to get a wholesale deal, I would do FSBO first. But I got to tell you, man, some of the sellers are even more difficult than the realtors. And every now and then you'll get an MLS deal that has an extremely difficult seller, where the agent's trying to talk them to like lower the listing, and you have a difficult agent. Those two, that will take out every wholesaler every time. So here's how I avoid it, guys. I only focus on people who need to sell. Why? Because everybody wants to sell, a select few that need to sell. And everything is timing and wholesaling, and it's all about the follow-up. So if you understand ODN, let me go over this again. ODN, off market, direct to seller that needs to sell, that is your wholesale compass. Set it correctly and go get it. Everyone's going to come at you and try to tell you, I've got everything for you. I got motivated seller leads. I can do this for you. I can sell you everything. They're going to come at you, especially when you're brand new. And this is what attracts most people like the PPL. Here's the problem, PPL. I'm fine working at PPL if you have a strong foundation on how marketing works in wholesaling. For those of you that just want to skip the marketing because you find it a pain in the ass, you're not going to make much money in wholesaling because it is the highest skill set you can learn as a wholesaler. So if you don't know how to market, you're going to have to rely on other people to bring you leads, and you're going to have to pay them a lot of money. That's why you're going to pay between $100 to $300 for a quality lead. And by the way, that lead is just coming from an old cold call. That's all it is, guys. Transparency. Ask these companies to give you all the factual information on that lead. And I promise you, you're going to relook at how you buy leads going forward. Now, some do it. I just don't agree with the price. I don't agree with the bidding system. Because remember, while you're bidding for a PPL lead, time is going by. Every hour that goes by on a lead is a less likelihood of that deal going through or having another wholesaler, or worse, have a realtor beat you to that lead. It just drives me nuts. That's crazy. So, guys, now the next thing is, if I'm dropping in your town tomorrow, you don't have a deal, and I go, Rick, I need to get a deal. What's the first thing I'm going to do? We are going to hop in a car and we're going to go find 300 leads right off the bat. Oh my God, Rick, 300 leads. Oh, I don't care how long it takes. If it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, that's what you do. Why? Because I can drive down the road and I can visually see, let me take off my glasses here. I can visually see problematic houses. Now, Rick, you're saying, Rick, what's a problematic house? High grass in the summertime, blue tarp on the roof, boarded up windows, mailboxes knocked down. The driveway looks like crap. It's covered in mold. Nobody chooses to have their house look like this. Everybody understand that? Nobody chooses it. But the reality is life happens to these people. And this list is a visual one. This is going to be better than any PPL lead you ever get. I promise you. They should just have somebody go around and do driving for dollars. I'm going to buy a bunch of Waymo cars, or figure out, maybe get a bunch of Teslas and get it done. God knows I got enough Teslas. We can find a way to have them just drive around when I'm not around, but they're not approved for full self-driving yet. But anyways, when I visually see it, this is how you're going to find your probates, your tax delinquencies. You're going to find your code violations. You find them naturally. And remember, nobody wants their house to look like this. Even my worst enemy does not want their house to look like crap. Most people take pride in what they live in. And eventually, when stuff happens in life, you take care of life first, then you come back and take care of the house. And a lot of times at that point, once it's behind in taxes, you're behind on the mortgage, they just need to sell it to get it moved on. And that is the main thing. So driving for dollars, I'd go out and get 300 leads. And I would go crazy on them. I would call every one of them. I would even door knock. Depends on how fast you want to do it. I'm getting ready to do a series on what's the fastest way to get a wholesale deal. And I did it from 3 days, 7 days to 30 days. And I have different procedures. But guys, driving for dollars is the fastest one I would jump all over. And that's what you want to do. Okay, I'm just reading comments as we go here. Now, the next thing I would do for to be expedient is I would just pick up the for rents and I would call on them. Rick, why are you calling the for rents? Because the for rents are landlords that already own property that are typically looking to add more properties, or check this out, possibly sell their rental properties. Maybe I hit them at the right time. Remember, all real estate is about timing, not perfect timing. If you are relentless and you use a system like X Leads to follow up on everything, timing is everything. And if your timing hits, you can do anything you want. If I call a for rent ad, my worst case scenario is they're going on my cash buyers list. You guys need plenty of quality cash buyers. Number two, maybe that property's vacant. Maybe they just had a really bad renter in it. Maybe they're just a tired landlord. These are all opportunities for you to be able to buy real estate. And it's one of the fastest ways. And here's the best part is there's usually not more than 50 or 60 ads. Just pick them up. If it's Facebook Marketplace, whatever, just pick up the phone and call. And a lot of times these people own other properties and you can instantly connect with them. get the story behind the property and help them out. Now, landlords are a little bit more difficult. I won't lie to you, but there's plenty of opportunity. I leave money in some of my deals all the time. I let new wholesalers take it over just because they're like nice to me. I got plenty of properties. Some of them need work. I don't even hide it from them. So I'm going to do the driving for dollars, and I'm going to do it for rents. I'm going to do as fast as I can. And I can't emphasize this to you enough. For God's sakes, guys, please stay off the MLS. It was never, ever designed for wholesaling. I watch all these videos of cold calling real estate agents. I've never seen them go anywhere. And for the record, most of the ones you see on the line, they're all pre-set up. And 9 times out of 10, it's a realtor talking to another licensed realtor. Because I can tell you, calling a realtor ice cold on an MLS, on a new MLS listing as a wholesaler, it is a painful conversation 100% of the time. Now, if I'm calling on something that's 6 or 12 months old, entirely different conversation. And I'm okay with that. But even that, you have a slim probability of making that deal happen. On a true wholesale deal, which means you're putting it under contract and selling your contract via assignment and just selling the paper, it's going to be hard to get around all that with a real estate agent because they're trained to prevent wholesalers from interfering in any of their contracts. Now, some of them are right because some wholesalers make it, they just obligate and tie properties up. I find wholesalers that lie to real estate agents don't help our business out at all. And the people that become licensed as a realtor because they think they're going to have an in with these real estate agents and they can win them over with the license alone, that really doesn't work either. Because at the end of the day, they need to know the fundamentals of the deal. And if it doesn't work for their client, it doesn't matter if you're licensed or not. It's not going to help you. So many people go, oh, if you get licensed, you can connect with the realtors. Listen, you want to be a realtor, go be a realtor. I don't think getting your license is going to help you. If you think it's going to help you, I'm all for it. Just understand when you get your realtor's license, you are now under the oath and obligation of the realtors, period. You will not be recognized as a wholesaler. You will not be given the benefit of the doubt as a wholesaler. And if anybody has a problem with you, like anybody got a problem with me, I go, listen, I only answer to one person. It's my mother. And God rest her soul, she's not here anymore. I don't give a shit. And the reality is, if you got a problem with me as a wholesaler, like who are you going to call? I don't break any laws. Now, if I'm a wholesaler and I'm a licensed real estate agent and someone's got a problem with you and it's not even legitimate, you have to sit down in front of a board. And guess who's on the board? They're all realtors. You are now under their direction. And anything you do, especially your marketing, and I talk about marketing as a king, you now have to disclose to everyone up front you're a licensed real estate agent on all your cards, all your letters, all your postcards, every email you send, everything has to be covered. And I will tell you this, the number one thing that people do not like, motivated sellers, most of them don't like dealing with real estate agents because they had a bad experience. So I would lose a big percentage of my clients if I became licensed. Now, people go, well, get your license because it's going to solve the legality problem. No, it's not. It's not going to solve it. It solves it in some areas, but it opens you up to another case scenario. I have a buddy right now who got his license 2 years ago under the premise that somebody taught him on the internet that getting your license will protect his business. He's gone to, ready for this, 9 hearings in front of the board. He's been fined 4 times, and he's in the process of dissolving his license because it says it's too much of a liability. Guess who rats him out? Realtors, number 1, title companies, number 2. And then if you want to have pain in the butt wholesale competitions, they can rat you out too. And then remember, you got to go get an insurance policy. You got to get an E&O, and it doesn't protect you. And it's ridiculous. And by the way, the board of realtors has control if they want to renege on an assignment fee you did. So I have a case in a specific state. I could actually show it to you where someone earned a huge wholesale fee, and the other realtor, they complained about it, and they got a hearing as a $76,000 fee, and they asked him to give it back to avoid any prosecution or fines. Is that absolutely nuts, guys? Can you imagine? Because a realtor's not happy with you, you lose your fee. So I'm just telling you guys, take the advice when it comes to wholesaling. A lot of you are trying to be scared in by these tactics. Oh, you got to get your license or this is going to happen. The reality is most of the laws are written around disclosures, which I believe in full disclosure. I don't have a problem with it. And number two, the way you market. And if you're just going to sell a contract, you're not selling the property, you're selling the contract. But getting your license doesn't avoid any of this. Go look at the best people in wholesaling, creative finance. Ask them straight up, do you have your real estate license? And most of them won't have it. Now, having your real estate license exposes you to the most risk for any type of lawsuit or anything, because you are now at the highest standard of professionalism. And by the way, I watch realtors get arrested on a daily basis all the time. They get accused of crimes. It's just like bad teachers, bad cops, bad real estate agents. We have bad wholesalers. We have bad actors there. I do not disagree with that. I wish I could clean the business up, but if we have bad realtors and they're under this massive NAR in the training, it just goes to show you bad people are always going to be bad people. We can't sit here and we can't be like the United States government and say, we have to protect the consumer at all costs. Well, if they keep at the current pace of what they're doing with wholesalers, you're just going to minimize what the average person can sell their house for, especially if they have a problem. And you're just going to drive the price up, because if wholesaling remains the way they want it to, and only the elite can wholesale, I mean, guys with tons of cash, they're just going to make more money and jack it up. That's why they're so excited about all these new laws. You ever wonder why people get so excited about an anti-wholesaling law? It's ridiculous. Obviously, people don't read the Constitution. They don't understand what their federal rights are. And I don't want anyone to get sued. I don't even care if you hate me. I don't want you to get sued. I think we're all in it together, that lawsuits are frivolous and it's kind of a joke. And anybody who wants to get a mark on their back can come and get you. So I don't want that to happen. So guys, just avoid MLS. I've told you all the problems that come with it, and it's ridiculous. So here's my favorite. Hold on. So let's look this up. Now you got me interested. So I'm looking up somebody's thing. So anyone who gives a lot of this advice, I promise you they haven't been in the business very long. So let me look this up. I got to look this up because you put it in the comments. And let's see if I can pull it up. Hold on. It's coming. Let's see here. I'll pull that up while we do it. I don't see it. Anyways, so I'm seeing this comment about hold on. Let's see if this is it. Yeah. You know, that's what I expect with someone with like such tiny following, of why they would say something like that. Does that make sense? I don't even know who it is. So somebody put on there, I don't want to put the name on it. It says she's crushing it right now on the MLS. Okay. So do you know what the word crushing it right now is? A slang term that you use to hype an audience in. I can't cash the word crushing it. That's like saying someone's a rock star. And anyone that uses the word like a serial entrepreneur or anything like that, I already know you don't know how to make money, because you got to keep jumping from section to section. Killing it says she's crushing it on MLS. Then I need data. Show me the actual contracts you've closed. Show me the net income, net, not gross, and show me the number of deals and put them up there. That's how you say you crush it. So funny. Okay. Anyways, let's keep going here. So if I'm talking about this, guys, once I do driving for dollars and I just call in the for rent, I'm just going to rip through the government list. Now, me and Zach coined phrase this term. Why? Because this is how I got started in wholesaling, and it was never, It wasn't easy, but I got it done. And here's what I did. Here's the order I did it. Code violations was my savior. It got me my first 5 deals with my eyes shut. Not eyes shut, but I had to work on it. The hardest part was me getting over on how to get the list. So for me to get the list, I overcame resistance with persistence. And I got it. What's code violations? Simply when you let your house get out of whack, you paint it purple, you board the windows up and never take them down, or you let the grass get like excessively high. Either your neighbor calls you in or a code enforcement drives by, and then you usually have 20 to 30 days to rectify the issue, or you get a fine on your house every day. Nobody wants these fines. So your job is to reach out and help them. Life happens to them. Get the story behind it. How do you do that? You have to earn their trust by connecting with them, by developing rapport. And then you need to get the story behind the piece of real estate. Once you get those two, you can make them an offer, and I teach you how to do go for no. Now, you can follow advice on people say they're crushing it on MLS, but they won't show you any data. Crushing it on MLS to me is a childish slang term that means look at me, but don't look into me because I don't know what I'm doing. And I've probably been wholesaling for a few years. I've never seen anyone survive wholesaling off MLS. I've been doing this 23 years. Do I do deals off MLS? I do, but they're not wholesale deals. They're a different type of deal. And you know what? I bet if I look into it, I guarantee there's going to be a course tied up behind it. How much you want to bet? Anybody want to bet that? I guarantee it. The next list I'm jumping to is pre-foreclosures. These are in the early stages of foreclosures. You have a shot. Please do not wait till the day the auction's set and they call you a day or two before and they seem highly motivated because you are the only option, or they get zero, or worse, they get a judgment against them. That's really tough as a new wholesaler, and I don't want you to take that path. Does everybody understand that? Catch them sooner than later. All this stuff, guys, that you need to know is at freewholesaling.com. Now, the next one is tax delinquencies. Guys, these are golden. I want to find someone with a average median price and a population of 100,000 or more that is 2 or more years behind on their taxes. Why? Because nobody chooses not to pay the tax on their property. And even if you have a free and clear paid house, if you don't pay your taxes, the government can just take it from you. I think it's unjust. I think it's completely unfair, but that's the cards in the system we all have to play with. Now, let me ask you, if someone's 2 years behind on their taxes and the county has filed to put their house up for auction, do you think they're motivated to get that house sold? Absolutely. They either have to get a big fat loan, which they probably overextended. That's why they're in this position, or they have to sell their house. I'm looking for the people that need to sell their house, because if they need to sell their house, I have an opportunity as a wholesaler. You see, if I just sit here and talk to people on MLS, like a lot of these people will teach you that have a course, it makes perfect sense on paper. I've got their phone number. I got pictures. I got an offer price. I got the agent's number. Come on, guys. You really think the agents are going to sell properties 50, 60 cents on the dollar? Listen, I'm all about MLS for creative financing. A wholesale strategy, the worst idea I've ever heard in my life, period. In fact, give me 100 people on MLS, I almost guarantee you 100 failures. I do it all the time. It's painful. Why do it? Especially a fresh listing on MLS. Gee, they already got it priced 10 to 20% over market, and then you're going to come in 30, 40% lower than that? Like, come on, man. Like, we're all smarter than that. It's crazy. I love it. By the way, anyone who puts the word serial entrepreneur next to their name, run. There's no such thing. You have to go all in on one. I'm all in on wholesaling. I'm not going to teach you Amazon. I'm not going to teach you to do Forex. I'm not going to teach you how to trade cryptocurrency. Why? Because I'm a rookie at all that stuff, just like everybody else. So why would I be any different than anybody else? But as a serialpreneur, whatever they call them, they go from business to business to business because they never master one. So they got to keep scraping the lowest hanging fruit, which is selling crappy courses, which is pretty much, if you guys fell for the Forex, you fell for the Amazon FBO stores. I can keep going on and on. Every type of MLM out there, not ragging on MLM, but there's a reason that they have to sell it that way, because it would never sell on regular shelves, because they have to use networks to do it. And you have to sell them with big premiums to their affiliates. So tax delinquencies, guys, One of my favorite ways, they are harder people to get a hold of, but we have techniques and we show you exactly how to do it. And keep in mind, guys, probates. I love probates. Always have, always will. I found them from Driving for Dollars. This is basically when somebody passes away, and the only way to sell that property and transfer that deed is with a probate court order. And there's a lot of exceptions and ways to get it done, but I'm just telling you, these people are often motivated because they were taking care of a loved one that was often sick or elderly. And your job as a family member is to take care of that person. After they pass away, they take care of the house. It's usually painful. The house is adapted to their living needs, and they're usually outdated. And the best part is these houses are vacant. Now, why is a new wholesaler, why I want to deal with a probate? Because they're the most generous to you. They are the high profit center. And the biggest challenge you have in wholesaling is when you have a owner occupied property and you have to bring in your cash buyers, it can get awkward. And there are certain conditions where they don't want anyone coming through their property. So if you find a probate, I teach you how to do the whole thing, freewholesaling.com. I teach you how to work with your title company. You don't have to hire a lawyer. That's a terrible misconception. I teach you about the unique selling proposition that we offer to probate clients. We teach them how they can sell the probate prior to the probate being completed. Do you want to talk about that? They always say yes. And we engage them. I beat every real estate agent to it. And I beat every other wholesaler because most of you guys wait till the end till they clear the title. By then, they don't need you. They can take it to market with a real estate agent. And whoever gets the deal first usually makes the most money. And guys, the probate, the PRs, the personal representative and or the executor, they're usually out of state. And I teach you how to put a lockbox on that property, and you can walk as many cash buyers as you can through there. Why? It's easy, especially if you're doing this virtually. It's dynamite. And by the way, you can do this nationwide. The other thing is you can get the highest and best cash offer for it. You're usually going to get about 15 to 20% more for a probate because you have time. Rick, what if I've never done a deal? Should I do a probate? Absolutely, 100% yes. My biggest regret in wholesaling was not doing probates earlier. The first 8 years, I didn't touch them because I was scared of them. I thought they were complicated and I always walked away from them. And then I found a few deals I did from Driving for Dollars. We figured out how to take down a probate, and the rest is history. Guys, I'm a wholesaler. I want the best opportunities possible. And if you understand that, probates, even if you've never done a wholesale deal before, they are some of the best deals you can absolutely do. Um, um, I'm clicking at questions here. David knows their gold mine. So guys, a lot of people ask me like this question: should I focus on vacant land as a beginner or both real estate and vacant land? I would focus on as many opportunities as possible. Vacant land's actually simpler, but there's only so many opportunities to do it. So I would absolutely do both. And I didn't do vacant land when I started out because I didn't understand it either. And I left a lot of opportunities on the table. And I'm telling you, I would do both. Listen, guys, vacant land is just land without property on top of it. So it's actually simpler and easier. Usually less profit in it and there's less buyers in it, but you don't have that emotional attachment. So that's why I still like to do them. So now let's talk about how you're going to deliver your wholesale message to your list. So remember, your list is your prospects. You need to Can everybody hear me? Okay. I'm not even going to address how I get hacked like that. I don't know. Okay, I'm back. Everybody hear me? Everybody see me? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. Let me get back to business here and we'll do this. So we're talking about delivering our message. Don't ask me what happened there. The divine people are trying to cut in on us. Let me get down. So delivering your message. First one, SMS texting. It's absolutely amazing. If you are going to be a single entrepreneur, when it comes to wholesaling, you can't beat the effectiveness of texting. I like to do texting inside of XLeads. You can use other services to deliver your platform. You can push one key, deliver a couple thousand messages once you build up and get past your A2P compliance. From an efficiency standpoint, it's hard to beat. The challenge with texting is, number one, you have to do A2P compliance, which we actually help you do the whole thing at XLeads. And number two, you have to understand you have to convert them from text to a phone call. Text to a phone call. You can't sit there. I see people all the time. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm trying to text to get the guy to sell me a deal. It's never worked that way. In fact, I've done one deal via text, and that's in 23 years. One deal, 23 years. That's how odd it is to close somebody head-to-head on text. You need to actually talk to somebody and understand what they're doing. And I want you to understand that. Now, the one you're all familiar with is cold calling. And I know what you're going to say. Oh my God, cold calling is literally torture. I want you to understand this. Most of the leads you buy from PPL companies are just cold calls. Why don't they tell you this? Because it wouldn't seem as sexy. That's why. And I don't blame them. They're great deals. And they have these entire centers that just cold call. And why not? You get someone else to do it, which leads me to the next phase. I strongly advise against do cold calling yourself other than one-offs like probates and stuff like that, driving for dollars. If you want to rip through and do 10 to 12,000 cold calls, it's going to cost you about 160 to 180 hours of your time. And if you just worked a little bit overtime, a little extra money, you could go through a program like M2M, join M2M.com, and you can get people to call as low as $4.50 an hour for you. And you know what? If you made at least 20 bucks an hour, $25 an hour with overtime, that's $4,000 extra a month. And you could give up less than $1,000 to have someone do it all for you, which leads me to the next one, which are cold call centers. So we've kind of mastered this. If you check out joinm2m.com, these are leads where people cold call on lists that you derive through XLeads, and you get these custom lists. You pick your market. You have cold calls delivered into your CRM. You contact them back that day. You have the MP3 file. You have the date the lead was derived from, so you're getting it fresh. And here's the most important bit. It's your lead. It's somebody else's lead. And if you know that, you can take any deal down. Okay, stop buying it from these people that really just selling you. Because for every 2 or 3 wins they get about 2,000 to 3,000 losses. And that's the problem, is they only share the highlights. They don't share the lowlights. And that's problematic for me. Now, the next one that I really, really like is reverse driving for dollars. And this now specifically, I'm going to help you out here. Here's the 2 lists I'm going to do reverse driving for dollars. This is basically when you take a sticky note and stick it to someone's door. And you're just asking them a question. Now, you got to vary this up. Stop. Everyone's got to stop using, I got a quick question about your house. Hey, it's Rick. Give me a call. Here's my virtual phone number. Now, honestly, if you stick that on my door, I'm calling you because I'm curious. And remember, marketing's all about engaging your prospect legally and ethically to respond to you. Now, the reason the notes work so well because it's personable. They don't think they're being spammed, and it's a great fit for what they do. And that's why the notes get a high response rate. Is it a pain in the ass? Yes, it is. But what I want you to do on the reverse driving for dollars, it's simple as this. Code violations and tax delinquencies. These are the best ones. These are the ones we bend over backwards, and this is what we do in our markets, and that's what I want you to do on it. So When it comes to that, it works really well. So guys, you basically have a choice. Now, I didn't put direct mail in there on purpose because I would never give you direct mail of a way to get your first wholesale deal. Direct mail works wonderful. I use it in my business. In fact, 70% of leads are derived from direct mail. Why? Number one, it's 100% legal. You can't be sued. You can't be attacked for it. There's nothing illegal as long as you put a United States Postal Service stamp. Call it a bribe, but it's there. Number two, they're exclusive. They're your leads. Now, there's going to be other people mailing to them and you're going to pay. But if I can get you a 5 to 6 time return on your marketing budget for direct mail, would you be interested? It's great. We got to get 5 deals in your pipeline first before we do that. Why? You're going to have some money. On average, direct mail is going to cost you $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and you got to give it 3 months. So that's anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. We got to listen, guys. We got to make that first $10,000 or $15,000 before we do it, because we have to understand on how to do that. And if you don't have the money, you can't spend it and you can't do it. Oh Lord. Okay, hold on. Let me yeah, I see it. I see it. Hold on. I know. Well, I had to switch computers in, so that Zach's name is going to be up there. So we will deal with it. Who cares, right? Okay, let's jump back to this. So if we understand that, let me show you what the tool is to tie everything together to get your first wholesale deal. Now, you guys know I own X Leads. I've got it on the bottom running for you. You understand it. It's the all-in-one wholesaling software that includes everything in it for you. Everything. But I'm going to go through a list right now, and I'm going to let you to pick a software that you think is going to be best to get your first wholesale deal or to get you 10 more wholesale deals. And you guys are going to be slammed with a bunch of Black Friday offers. Guys, please don't buy the bell and whistles. Buy the software for what you basically need it for. Most people need software to pull lists. And that's the first thing I want you to understand when it comes to softwares. Here's the priority that I would run all my softwares in for wholesaling. Number one, you got to be able to pull lists. These are your marketing lists. We talked about lists. We have some of the government lists that you can pull inside of X Leads. You can find your cash buyers inside of X Leads. You can get your vacancies, your pre-foreclosures, all it. And here's the best part is you can do probates inside of X Leads with the basic account. Once again, I'm not going to run a Black Friday sale. I'm going to leave that up to the people that overcharge you in the beginning. And I would ask them, why don't you run this sale all the time? There's a reason why, because they want to induce you in to get you in, like whatever. So Black Friday should be every day. But we're going to pull list. You need 25,000 leads to really be productive in wholesaling. I used to think 10,000. I'm telling you right now, you need to 10x 25,000 leads. You need as many leads as possible to make money in wholesaling. Does everybody understand that? Anything less, you're going to have a problem with it. I know this. You need a ton of leads. You need to 10x. You need massive amount of volume to make up for your inexperience. And you need as many opportunities as humanly possible, because putting in these reps is what's going to make you a wholesaler. So when you get these programs, make sure you get at least 25,000 leads. If not, you're going to have to pay more. And these are the hidden costs every software has, and I want you to understand it. The next thing is make sure whatever software you has a skip trace service built into it. If not, they're going to try to charge you 10 to 15 cents per skip trace. Now, let me put that in perspective. If I'm a skip trace 25,000 people, you ready? And I paid 15 cents, that means I have to pay almost $4,000 in additional cost. For the love of God, please make sure it's included in your software package. Now, skip tracing is never going to be perfect, but 15 cents, that's very, very expensive to make anything perfect. And I don't want any part of that. The next thing is make sure your software can do comp analysis. Make sure it can pull analysis in non-disclosure states like Texas. All these states where they don't share the data, companies like X Leads already gives you that data and you can do it. The next one, you ready? Guys, Your software has to has a CRM built into it. If it doesn't, you're wasting your time. Now, I don't put a lot of requirements on this. That's up to you. But if I'm you guys, I'm going to find a software that will organize all my data and have the best follow-up system possible, because the follow-up, guys, listen to me, the follow-up is what makes you all the money in wholesaling. Very rarely when I reach out to a motivated seller, say it's off-market direct to seller, it needs to sell, are they ready to sell at that moment? It does happen, but honestly, it is the exception, not the rule. So if I'm pulling 25,000 prospects a month and I'm going through a robust system, listen, guys, when I started out, I could pull 300 to 500 prospects and I manually would follow up with them. And now I go from 300 to 500 to 25,000 to up to 65,000 in next leads. How on earth are you going to keep up with all those? And guys, don't tell me, listen, you can use Podio, but you have to hire someone to trick it out for you. Podio is not built around wholesaling. It's really, its closest use are real estate agents. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm just saying it's not built for wholesalers. And what you have to do, guys, your follow-up system has to be built completely around AI automation. And if it's not, you're going to get killed. We're transparent with you. We tell you, we give you a go high level account with X leads. Why? It is the most robust, the most cost effective, the most AI intense software you can get out there, especially for wholesaling. Think about this. All these people, if most of my money is going to come through the follow-up, if I don't set up workflow automations, so they're getting automatic text, automatic emails, I can call out, leave them a phone message. I can have AI do a conversation via over text while I'm not even there. I can have AI send out emails while I'm sleeping at night to see if I can get action on it in the morning. If I start doing that with 50, 70, 80, 100,000 leads, my pipeline is going to be full. Why? Because I took the time to build out the system to have AI automation in it. Once again, guys, I am a wholesaler. I'm telling you right now, the amount of leads you need in today's wholesale world, it's incredible. Most wholesalers, here's a disclaimer, most wholesalers cannot keep up with their leads and they just let them go to crap. What if you actually followed up with them and you had automation that did it for you? Once you understand and you take the time to set it up, you can do anything you want inside of X Leads. It's completely up to you. Most of you are going to have hundreds of thousands of leads. And if you have hundreds of thousands of leads, you can get deals done. Most of your leads, listen guys, 70, 75%, it's going to come on the follow-up. So if I'm going to take 25,000 lists a month and harvest it, and I attack everything, I need automations to follow up, because if not, I got to have a staff of 5 to 10 to do it. And that's going to break you financially. You don't want to do that. The next thing, guys, is you got to understand this. Your dispo should be built into your software. What? You're paying another company for another software to do dispo? Yeah, that's another $200 to $800 a month. You could get the entire master account with X Leads, and that's actually included in it for you. What? Is that crazy? Is that nuts? Guys, paying for a separate dispo software, although they're incredible programs, I'm not even knocking them. How much money, guys, look at all these I've gone through. Honestly, up to this point, you're at about $1,000 a month if you a la carte this with all the different services. Dispo, you can click a buyer's match if you have a deal inside of X Leads, and it'll rank the top as many buyers. It'll rank it from 1 to 10 in your market to find out who the best one is. And here's the best part is you don't have to vet them anymore. You can call them. You can find out the ones that actually do deals and get it going. But guys, how are we going to send them the deals? Make sure your software has electronic signing in it. For God's sakes, those of you using DocuSign, all these other companies, and you're paying separately, once again, you got another sign-in username, password. You got another credit card fee. You got another training site. This is a joke. And most of you are paying between $40 and $75 a month for this. It's included in your X Leads account. So you want to do that. So guys, all this stuff that I just, if I put it up here and run it again, pulling a list to 25K, the skip trace, the comping, the having the CRM, the robust follow-up system with the AI, the dispo, the electronic signing. This is the reason why we created we created X Leads because I got tired of logging in all these other windows and doing all this other stuff. And guys, keep in mind, it's wholesalers that created this, put it all together, and then we're constantly doing upgrades to get it going. And I want you to understand. So I have a comment on here, and it's a legitimate comment. Is there a trial version? As of now, right now, no, because the reality is everyone who offers you a trial version has a super high price tag on it, and there's a reason for it. Because it costs a lot to manage the trials, and we've done trials in the past, and we just find that we frustrate people with it. And so here's what we do. We give a money back guarantee. If you buy it and you don't like it, just ask for a refund within 7 days and I'll give it to you. So we can play the game and tell you trial version, but the reality is if you buy it, it's not what you thought it was. But the reality is 7 days is not a lot of time to learn a product. And X Leads is so robust. It has so much that we want people that are committed to it because it's very expensive to do trials, to do refunds, to do customer service. And it takes away from our existing customers. So look at the people who have the free trials. The prices are significantly higher, and there's a reason for that. We removed all that crap for you. So here's the deal. If you want to do it, buy it. If you reach out to us within 7 days, I just give you your money back. That way it's much more transparent and you know what's going on with it. Because a lot of people get the trial versions can get messy. But if I charged $159 a month, I'll give you a trial version all day long. That's why I don't do it. So it's a legitimate question, and I appreciate it. So, and to be honest, from this comment here, there is a large learning curve because you get so much with X Leads, and that's the difference. And I want you guys to understand that, because if you understand that, you understand that you get so much more than what we used to just get, where it was just a simple, you pull your list and maybe do a comp. We've come a lot further in doing that, and I want you to understand that. So let me jump back down to where we were here. So let's wrap it up, and what other sources can we go to get our first deal? So we're always talking about marketing today, because in the end, I always told you marketing is king when it comes to wholesaling. So first and foremost, I look for property managers. They're typically going to be with a real estate agency, and it's going to be run by a broker. These are people that rent properties out and then they manage them for them. And the typical rental portfolio will have at least 500 to 1,000 properties. That's a lot. And on average, 5% of them are vacant or in serious trouble. You have to do the same skill sets we teach you at freewholesaling.com with motivated sellers with the property managers. You have to connect with them. You have to earn their trust, and you got to get the story behind the properties. And guys, I'm going to teach you to pay their full commission, because when they get a tired landlord that does not want to fix up the property and they can't get renters in there, they want to get it sold. All property management is a derivative to get listings. That's why they do them. It's heavy in commercial. It's the same thing in regular residential. Everybody wants a property manager. They're usually young people that run these, 2 to 3 people in that department. And they will tell you horror stories about horrible renters. And you know what I find out? There's more horror stories about bad landlords out there. And there's a lot of landlords that don't want to put a dime in the property. They just want that cash flow. Yeah. And they just get tired of it. And remember, the property manager is the one that has the story behind the property. So if you can connect with them, you can get great deals. The next one I really loved, and I've always loved, are estate sales companies. These are companies that liquidate typically older people's houses that have accumulated a lot of stuff. Maybe they're looking to downsize or relocate into a condo. They'll hire them to get rid of all that stuff. Often these houses are in really bad shape. They're really run down. Guys, the money for an estate sale company is in the property, not the estate sale. So I let them know, if you ever find a seller, owner of a property that needs to sell the property, and then I train them. Houses run down, you see a hole in the roof. And a lot of time, some of these properties wind up like on hoarding, like borderline hoarder's house. I don't like hoarder's house. They're some of the worst houses you can ever buy. And honestly, I find them to be some of the worst deals in all of wholesaling. So if you come across a hoarder, keep that in mind. But these are people who have accumulated a lot of stuff. They just don't get rid of it. They just need help. And remember, our job is to help the seller get out of their own way. And we can do that with estate sale companies. And then I let them know if I'm able to buy the property, I can give them a marketing fee of it. And then I'll let them sell all the belongings in the house. And it winds up being a super relationship. Actually, I've done wonderful off estate sale companies. So find the ones in your area. You can look them up on the internet. It's not that hard, and develop a relationship with them. And guys, last but not least, one of my absolute favorites are general contractors. Rick, how the hell am I going to get a wholesale deal from a general contractor? Remember, GCs go in and they write offers, not offers on house, they write estimates. And when estimates get really high and they break bad news to homeowners, they go, listen, it's going to be about $50,000 a repair. $50,000? Are you nuts? I can't afford to do it. Well, your patio is caving in. It's going to pull that part of the roof off. We got to recertify it. We got to get permits. And I've got to pour foundation to hold that header up and do the support beam. I can't afford that. I can't do that. So what's the contractor going to do? Now, I'm going to tell you, these are mostly newer contractors. Why? After a while, they don't write bids on people that can't afford to pay them. And in the beginning, they're trying to build up their clientele. Once they're in the business about 5 years, they have more clients than they know what to do with, and they don't have to do that anymore. So I like to find new GCs. They're my absolute favorite. And then basically I teach them how to turn their failed bids into cash. Simply, number one, if they give me a failed estimate, now they're worried about privacy, but honestly, it's not like they're a lawyer. It's not they're like a psychiatrist. You can actually reach out with their permission to that homeowner. You don't let them know that you have a copy of their bid and make an offer to see if they have interest in selling their house. Let me ask you this. Do you think a homeowner has interest in selling their house when they just got a $50,000 bid for a major repair on it? Hell yes. And here's the best part. You know exactly what the repair is. You know the exact person to fix that repair, and it's a win-win situation for everyone involved. The homeowner gets the property sold. You get a great deal, and the contractor turns a failed bid into possibly future work. Now, I'm always going to pay that contractor a marketing fee because they went out there, they wrote that bid, and they gave it to me, and it is a wonderful opportunity to work with them on that. Now, I'm going to use the same premise I do with a handyman. It's just on a much smaller scale. A lot of time, a handyman goes specifically in on landlord properties. They go, hey, John, can you look at this? They keep complaining about the AC, or they said there's some wetness coming down from the roof. John goes in there and he goes, dude, the whole roof's bad. The AC system's shot. The whole house needs renovation. Now, the handyman doesn't have the number, but he knows it's $50,000 to $80,000. That's all the homeowner needs to hear. And so I'll do the same thing with the handyman. Usually handymans, I don't pay more than $1,000. A GC can get up to $3,000 to $5,000 for a marketing fee. Remember, we don't pay commissions because we are not realtors, but I can pay a marketing fee out of my company because, guys, a failed bid is some of the best leads you can ever get in wholesaling. You have a house that needs work. They can't afford to fix it up. What are they going to do? Leave the house in that current situation? 9 times out of 10, they have to get that house sold. That's why I really like failed contractor bids. Now, you can do the same thing with the handymans. You're typically going to get tired landlord houses with it that are super cheap. They're a little bit more difficult, but the GC one, man, that's awesome. Now, you can reach out to people that just got their new GC license issued in the state of Florida, and you can reach out to them, and you can have maybe yourself. In the beginning, I would just call them and go, hey, listen, I know you're in this area. I'd like to work together with you if you ever have a failed bid. Now, in the beginning, sometimes I used to offer to buy their failed bids. I know that sounds crazy. How much would I pay? I would pay 10 to 20 bucks per failed bid, cash. Why? Because I had a high conversion rate. Now, I'm looking for bids of 50 grand or more that failed. A bid of 5 grand, I'm not interested in buying it. But remember, what's the GC or the handyman going to do with that bid? Nothing. So you can convert that in cash and easily make that work. I want you guys to remember that. So at the end of the day, guys, always understand this. Okay? Marketing is king. Without marketing, you have nothing. If you are going to trust your marketing and outsource it to like PPL companies, use it as a complementary thing. Do not use it as a staple. Meaning, if your only method is to buy PPL leads, you're not wholesaling, you're just a cash buyer. And I wish you the best of luck. but the table's going to run out on you because you're going to have to, you're only going to buy so many properties with narrow profit margins, and you're never really going to make it as a wholesaler. Whereas if I derive my leads, I can find probates, I can find foreclosures, all sorts of stuff, find those $30,000 to $100,000 leads. And then I can use all the other companies to make my $5,000 to $15,000 leads and make it work. But guys, if I had to struggle to make 3 to 5 grand on every like PPL lead, it's not going to work out. Why? Because he or she that derives the lead usually makes the most money. And the fact that most PPL companies don't even derive their lead, you don't know where they came from, you don't know the dates they're produced, and most of them are just brokers in between, makes you wonder about like PPL. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate coming my way. I'm used to it. I'm not scared of anyone. Bring it on. I don't care. If PPL companies would be more transparent, I wouldn't have to do half the stuff I have to do. But people get upset. People don't like any type of competition or anything. I get it. I I would be nervous if a wholesaler came in your business too and looked at it. So, by the way, I got no problem with PPL companies. I just think they should be more transparent. And you watch the price of PPL. It's going to plummet. You're welcome. Rick and Zach brought them to doing it because we got tired of um, all the costs are crazy. Uh, So GCs are licensed in each state, so you can get a list from there. You can look at local ads. Guys, in my first 3 years, I worked with a lot of GCs, and I got a lot. They would always call me on failed bids. And in the beginning, I used to take them to lunch or dinner, and then it got a little bit more formal in this. Um, uh, Somebody says this is how you get a 5 to 6 return on investment. That's off direct mail. That's what I get on that easily with my eyes shut. Um, uh, So guys, even on like the e-signing, you can track it inside XLeads. It would be really hard to run a software company without an e-sign service built into it. I just don't understand how anybody else could do it like any other any other way to do it. Let me see here. And I just love when like a new influencer says, so-and-so's dead, don't do it anymore. But they're crushing it. Dude, the word crushing and killing it means nothing to me. Show me some factual data of deals you've done, and so we can see what it means. Now, in the beginning, I used to show every deal I did because I was so excited. Now it's gotten to the point I don't want to share all my information out there publicly. And I do tons of deal. I own a lot of property with people out here. I have to protect a lot of people. But even in the beginning, I never said crushing it or killing it. I just HUD, address, HUD, seller testimonial. I've done over 4,000 guys. It just gets numbing after a while, but I can still produce them. I just don't understand. So guys, on the M2M, here's how we do it. It's a monthly fee. We're going to offer a yearly at a slight discount because people have asked us for it. And we target a minimum of $500 a month for marketing. That's the only way we can bring you to the 90-day guarantee to get your first deal, because you're going to have accountability and you have to be willing to tell the truth. And if you can do that, we can absolutely help you out. Join m2m.com. So, uh, um, where's maybe that's fine. Listen, guys, if you have your real estate license, just be aware of it. That's it. I'm not looking to change people. Um, I gotta look this one up. Hold on. Let's see this. Hold on. I want to look something up. Somebody, if you guys keep commenting on this one person, I gotta see it. I gotta see this. Let's see. Oh, well, that's all I need. They have 200 subscribers. So if you guys want to follow advice, someone who has 200 subscribers, oh, boy, being Yeah. Listen, guys, you want glamour tips, go to that person. I think they could help you out with it. So I think it's cool, but man, just get a couple hundred deals under your belt before you start telling people what to do. We'll figure it out. So um, it's joinm2m.com. I put it up there, joinm2m.com. So guys, I got to run here. I'll be on tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. As I said, I don't have a Black Friday sale, but I will highlight other people's Black Friday sales. Let's see what their regular retail price is and why they're giving you such a great deal. Guys, if people want to take care of you, they take care of you 365 days a year. That's what I advise. But guys, go out there. You can get your first deal. I've given you more than enough information to get in here. In fact, I'm going to release a series between 3, 7, and 30 days and show you what I would specifically focus on to take a deal down. And guys, you don't need all the courses. You just need to go and take action. Freewholesaling.com. And guys, listen to me. If you got value from today, do me this one small favor. The only thing I ask you to do, and I put it up on the screen, it's really, really simple. Hit that subscribe button, please. Best compliment you can give it to me. I enjoy spending time with you guys. I make Monday night a priority. Make sure I come on here. And then we'll be on tomorrow. I'll be on this channel at 5 p.m. Eastern. Hop on there or the Flip with Rick channel. We'll see you then. I appreciate everyone. Go out, have a good one, guys. And we will see you guys tomorrow.